Miss Christine, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I hear you right now.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll go ahead. Let me share my screen and we can start recording again. All right. Sorry about that. All right, you can start the recording. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stephen Taylor and I want to welcome you to today's business webinar. And it is on the LinkedIn and three-way calling system. Now, to give you a disclaimer, this is not a life insurance training. It is a life insurance business training. There's a major difference in skill set between a life insurance producer and a life insurance agency builder. You see, the primary skill set to building a life insurance business is learning the art of recruiting. And recruiting is an art just the same as the sales side is an art. The power of recruiting is a reflection of belief. That's your power in recruiting. If you're very lackadaisical in your recruiting efforts, if you're very lackadaisical in how you feel about the opportunity, that's going to reflect when you're recruiting. Because you see, to the degree that you believe in the OIC opportunity will be the degree of your success in recruiting. I want to talk to you for just a minute about the power of one. When you're recruiting, you never know who that one recruit that's going to explode your business is going to be. In 2024, Mr. Suni Samad, who, by the way, that quote at the top, one agent can change your business forever. Mr. Samad is the founder of our Supreme Team and is growing, and we have the fastest growing, the largest team in all of our Infinite company. But in 2024, before he had a team, in 2024, before he became a business director, when he just began his journey with us, Mr. Samad recruited a young lady from Oakland, California by the name of Arena McCoy. She leveraged that same system and recruited Brian Swisher out of Charlotte, North Carolina, who is now a business director, an equity partner, watch earner, and he founded one of our niche markets, the Small Business Retirement Group. Miss Irena did not know probably that Brian Swisher was going to become an equity partner, but in all of her recruiting efforts, she found the one. Back in 2023, using LinkedIn, Mr. Samad recruited a gentleman by the name of Caesar Paz. And he began to use the three-way calling system every day. And he introduced Mr. Samad to Joanne Ryan. And then Miss Joanne Ryan introduced Bill Fegans. And Mr. Fegans introduced Natalie Hunt. And Miss Natalie Hunt reached out to a former business partner of hers in another business in the final expense business named Mr. Hans Augustin, who is my business director, doing an amazing job from the East Coast of New Jersey, and he is on his way and on track to be our next equity partner. Also in 2024, using three-way calling, Mr. Samad introduced a man by the name of Mikel Mecki in California to some of the leaders, including Gabriel Gonzalez, the founder of our Education Retirement Group. So when his belief really grew after talking to these leaders, he then introduced a young lady by the name of Princess Map, and who she is now a business director. But before she became a business director, she introduced a former business partner of hers, Miss Kim Howard, to the business, and Miss Kim Howard became a business partner before Princess Matt did. But because Kim Howard became one of her ones, Kim Howard not only became a business director, but an equity partner, a $50,000 ring earner, and is doing a magnificent, amazing job while she's still working a full-time job in adult senior services uh, in, um, in adult social services out in California. So when you think about recruiting, who will be your one? Who will be that one person that will take off? Now, this is going to be a two-part training. The first part is recruiting with LinkedIn, and the second part is the three-way calling system. Recruiting with LinkedIn, I want to talk about that for just a minute. Why do we use LinkedIn system to recruit? Because it is a system. You see, a system saves yourself time, energy, and money. But I've added the word stress because in a previous organization, non-related, non-insurance related, my leader added the word S. Not only does it save yourself time, energy, and money, but it saves stress. Why do we recruit with a system? Because systems duplicate for massive scalability. Now, let me say this. A good system, a simple system, will duplicate for massive scalability. If you don't have a system, you don't have a business. You're just a sales agent. And now look, lest you think I'm downplaying the role of a sales agent, I am not. If that's what you want to do in this platform, we support you in that. But if you want to build a scalable business, then you have to have a proven, simple system. You see, systems, a good system, a proven system, will favor the success of the brand new person. If it doesn't favor the success of the brand new person, it's not effective. And if your business isn't growing from the bottom up, your business is dying because your business, you're the leader, you're at the top. And so if it's not growing up, if you're not bringing people in who grow upward and grow other people upward and continue to grow upward and outward, then your business is dying. You make up in numbers what you lack in skill. You may say, well, Stephen, I don't know if I'm a good recruiter. Well, look, you'll learn this system, and if you execute this system, you'll make up in numbers what you lack in skills because the system will work. The system will create more outcome for less times. Why am I training on this? Because it works. It's the reason that I'm here today. I want you to think about systems for a minute. Why do systems work? Because with a proven system, with a duplicatable system, you can remove yourself from the day-to-day of the business, but the system will still keep the business running smoothly. Now, we all know what these golden arches are. You'd be hard-pressed to go anywhere in the United States, wherever you may be watching from. You'd be hard-pressed to have to drive very far to find a McDonald's. But did you know that there is a building in the suburbs of Chicago called Hamburger University? And that building is where McDonald's franchise owners are required to complete a training program at that university that lasts as many as 12 to 18 months of their lives. Why do they do that? In order to learn the McDonald's system, in order to duplicate it. It doesn't matter where you go, the McDonald's system is going to be the same. Now, I don't know what Asian country this system is in. I don't know where it is, but I know that they're going to follow that same system. They're going to fix the hamburgers the same way. They're going to wrap the hamburgers, the small hamburgers and the cheeseburgers in paper. They're going to put the Big Macs and the Quarter Pounders, they're going to put them in a box. They're going to put French fries in the red box. Their cups are going to look the same, and the counter is going to look the same. The signs are going to look the same. Why? Because they have a system. So why should we leverage LinkedIn to recruit? It's because of something that we call the Infinite Eight. 8 invitations on LinkedIn to connect each day, every day. Now, Infinite Eight is based on 3 laws. The first law is the law of large numbers. Excuse me. The law of large numbers is a fundamental principle in probability and statistics, and that law states that as the number of trials or observations increases, the average of the results will get closer to the expected value, which is true probability. Now, this is a simple example, but if I take a quarter and flip it enough times, and these arthritic fingers and my 73-year-old stamina will allow me to flip it enough times and call heads, then the number that it lands on heads will eventually get to 50%, which also brings me to the law of averages. In other words, it's not a formal mathematical law, but it reflects my belief that if I flip it enough times, the law of large numbers, then the law of averages kicks in, and it will eventually land on heads at least 50% of the time, or more times than it lands on tails. And then it's based on the law of compounding. Albert Einstein is credited with saying compounding interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. The law of compounding is a financial principle. It describes how earnings will generate earnings over time. You invest, you put in a principal amount, and the law of compounding states that if you leave that principal in there over a period of time, you're going to earn some interest. And then if you leave that interest in, you're going to earn not only on the principal, but you're going to earn on the interest. And ladies and gentlemen, all 3 of these laws are applicable on LinkedIn. So let's do some math right here. When you come into our Infinite company, you come in as a training associate, like I did, like everyone else did, like every person who is at the top of the levels in our company, the executive business directors, the vice chairman business directors, all of those, they came in as a training associate because we were founded by field people. So if you come in as an associate, then you're going to send out 8 invitations for someone to connect with you on LinkedIn every day. You do that every day. In a week, that's 56 invitations. In a year, that's going to be 2,912. But now let's suppose that you have accomplished the 3 associates, which is one part of our 3, 3, and 8 system. You've got 3 associates now, and you are teaching them, and we are teaching them this system. You invite them to these trainings, and we teach them this system. So now all 4 of you are doing it. That means that there are 32 connection requests going out each day. In a week, that's 224. In a year, that's 11,648. But let's suppose now you get yourself and another. Now you've got yourself and 4 on your team. And all 4 of them are doing it every day. Now that means there's 40 invitations going out each day. In a week, that's 280. In a year, you have compounded with the law of large numbers. You have compounded your efforts with the efforts of these other four to 14,560 LinkedIn invitations in a year. But how about if your team grows this big? I don't know how many people are in that, but if everyone's doing it the way that we're teaching this system, it becomes infinite. The infinite eight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn is your secret weapon because it's free and it's duplicatable. Now, there are the premium subscriptions. I have that, but I had it in the previous organization, and I've kept it simply because it allows me more leverage on the platform, but it is not a requirement. You joined with a $125 registration fee. That's your basically, you got a business in a box for $125 when you joined OIC. And so we don't want to tell you you have to pay more money to get this or get that. That's strictly up to you. But with the free account, you can do the same thing. Now, let's talk about what the LinkedIn system is. Remember, it saves yourself time, energy, and money. Here's what it consists of. Number one, it consists of an introduction. Number two, it consists of an invitation. And number three, it consists of a presentation. Now, all three of those words are very familiar to those of us who are on the Supreme Team, those of us who know this system. And so I wanted to use those three words so it could all tie in together. So let's look at it. First of all, everyone knows if you're on LinkedIn, if you've been on LinkedIn for any length of time, if you're on LinkedIn, you know how to send a connection. And so there's no reason for me to take the time to go through there. But when you send out an invitation, you're asking them to connect. So then when they connect, here is your introduction. When they connect with you, you get notifications all the time. I got some while I started this just a moment ago. And so you get the notification that they are one of your connections. So here's what you send them. You put their name in. Hi, John. Hi, Mary. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space. And one of our niche markets is helping teachers with retirement options. No lead buying, no cold calling. We set up district-approved events to simply educate teachers and public school employees on their pensions, arrange 403B and annuity appointments, and assist them with their retirement needs. These appointments also lead to an increased amount of sales in cash value life insurance. Let's chat. I'd love to go over the details. Best, Stephen Taylor. It's basically you're introducing yourself. You're introducing what you do, and you're asking them, hey, let's chat. I'd love to go over the details. Okay? So you're doing that with every person that connects. If it's the first one, the second one, if you get 3 or 4 at a time, it's what you're going to send them. Just basically word for word. Now, I've tweaked mine a little bit, but it's basically this same, it's this same thing. Hey, you're introducing yourself. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space. Or you can say, hi, John, thanks for connecting. And I need to update that slide. Hi, thanks for the connection. I have a unique opportunity. So just remember that. So you're thanking them and you're introducing more of yourself to them. Okay? So then the second is an invitation. When do you send this invitation? If someone then if when you send them the "Hi John, great connecting with you. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space," and so on and so forth. If they say, "I'd love to know more," then you're going to send them an invitation. I'll leave my email here and contact number. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and answer any questions you have. Now, in mine, I say I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Standard Time because you're going to recruit people all across the country, and you need to get very familiar with the time zones. Eastern Time Zone, Central Time Zone is 1 hour behind. Mountain Time Zone is 2 hours behind me, and Pacific Time Zone is 3 hours behind me. But you need to get familiar with that. So I want them to know I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Time. So what's a good number and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? I just leave them my number and my email. Now, they may have asked questions. They may have said, "Well, what's your company? Who's your carrier? What's your compensation?" You don't want to answer those questions. You do not want to answer those questions. You just want to send the same thing. Remember, this is a system. Ladies and gentlemen, this system is what enabled me as a training associate, because I joined in the end of June last year. I was in a captive company in the funeral space, prearranging funerals with my license, and therefore I could not write business. But I believed in this system, and I believed in the agency building system, and I believed that the LinkedIn could bring me associates in, and it's what has helped me to bring on 11 associates wide, we say in my organization, and now I am 2 deep, or actually 3 deep. So, because I have an associates who are bringing on other associates. So, or I guess 2 deep. I get confused with math in case you can't tell. So, and I did this by this same simple system. And then the third part of it is presentation. And what you do, you schedule a 3-way call with your business director, and then that's where the next part of this training comes in, and that's part 2. That's the 3-way call system. Now, what is a 3-way call? You're going to see some very familiar language here in a moment. It's a third-party system that allows any new person to have success on our platform. It is a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. Now, when you're using LinkedIn, it's kind of informal. You don't really know that person, but you are introducing yourself with your first text. You're giving them an invitation to allow you to give them an overview with your second text, to a formal presentation, which is now you're going to allow your business director to give them a kind of a brief overview presentation, but he or she is going to invite them to a formal presentation, our business overview. So here it is. You have someone who says, "Stephen, I'd like to know more." And so you send them the response. Great. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and share some details with you. I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Time. What's a good number? And I'll leave my email and contact number here. What's a good email and contact number to reach out to you for a time this week? They tell you, "Hey, I'm available. I'm available tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time." Or if they tell you, if you're in Eastern Time Zone, and they say, "I'm available tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific time. Well, you know that that's going to be 5 o'clock your time. So you know that. So, uh, so the first thing I do before I make this three-way call is make sure that my business director, Hans Augustin, is available tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern or 5 o'clock Eastern, whichever time it is, um, for a three-way call. If he's not going to be available, I mean, I look at my calendar, and most of the leaders will share their calendars with you. And if I see that, then I will go to Mr. Samad, or I'll go to Miss Princess Map. I'll go with someone else who I can leverage on the three-way call. All right, so now it is 5 o'clock Eastern. It's 2 o'clock Pacific. So just a minute or two before then, Mr. Augustine is going to be my expert that I'm edifying. I'm getting him on the phone. I'm calling him, Mr. Augustine. Hey, can you still do the three-way call? Yes, sir. So it's about a minute or two before 5 o'clock. I've got him on the phone, and my prospect is Miss Angela Jones. And so what I'm going to do while I've got him on the phone, I'm going to add a call. Now, let me back up. These scripts that are here tell you to call the person first and then merge the call in. If you're adept at that, then that's great. I was until the iOS on my iPhone updated the first time, and it changed how that you add calls, and I fumbled around with it. But if you're adept at doing that with your Android or with your iPhone, then I always want to make sure you'll always want to make sure your business director is available. You can text them or call them or whatever. So then I've got Mr. Augustine on the phone, and I'm calling, and I see Miss Angela Jones pick up and answer. So I hit my merge button, and here's the way it goes. Hey, Angela, is now still a good time? Yes? Great, great. Real quick, Angela, I know we spoke a little about the opportunity, maybe on LinkedIn or through text, but I want to introduce you to one of my business partners who I've had the privilege of working with for some time now. His name is Mr. Hans Augustin. He's in New Jersey. He's leading the national expansion of this company, and he's doing some amazing, phenomenal things on our platform. He's a down-to-earth guy, Angela, and most importantly, he loves helping people. So what I'd like to do really quick is get him on the line so he can share with you what he shared with me when I first took a look at this opportunity. Okay? Hold on. Now, I've already got him on the phone because I get him on there first because I don't want to fumble it up. So I will hit mute just to create a little pause there. Then I will unmute and I continue. Hey, Mr. Augustine, are you there? Yes, sir. Awesome. Hey, Angela, are you there? Have you noticed the separation that you create with this uh, with this script or with this way of speaking? Hey, Mr. Augustine, edifying him as the leader. Are you there? Yes, sir. Awesome. Hey, Angela, are you still there? That's the prospect. We're not relegating her to a lower position, but we are just creating the system in front of them. They will remember this three-way call. So it's, hey, Mr. Augustine, are you there? Hey, Angela, are you still there? Awesome. Awesome. Angela, this is Mr. Hans Augustine, the man I was telling you about. We're very fortunate to get a moment of his time. And that's a key sentence. We're fortunate to get a moment of his time. Hey, Mr. Augustine, this is Angela from LinkedIn. And then I mute my phone and Hans takes over. Hey, and now Hans will always put Miss with the young lady, and with a gentleman he'll say, Hey Stephen or Hey John, but with a young lady it's just the way he does, and so he says, Hey Miss Angela. He's still using the first name. I'm honored to be on the line with anybody that Mr. Taylor introduces me to. I promise I didn't pay him to say all those things about me. Kind of, kind of a joking type, a comical type way. But with that said, he's so humble. He probably didn't mention that he's helped develop and expand our company as well, and he's doing some amazing things, helping a lot of people also. So I'm honored to be on the line with you. So with that said, what are you currently doing for a living, Angela? And he just waits. And Angela may say, well, I'm new to the insurance space, or she may say, I've been in the insurance business and I'm doing this or this or that. And so he said, well, that's great. That's awesome. I know you're a pretty smart young lady, and you're evidently doing well where you are. So tell me, what's got you looking into another opportunity? What is what is he doing? What is the leader doing at that particular moment? He is discovering their pain point. What's hurting them? So what's got you looking into another opportunity? Or what did Mr. Taylor, what about the opportunity that Mr. Taylor shared with you tweaked your interest? And she may say, well, I'm new in the insurance space and I've never done it before, and the company that I'm with, FFL, or the other company, whatever company, maybe they're on a company that just calls over the phone, just sits there and calls and calls and calls and calls and calls, and and they tell me that I have to buy leads, and so I believe them, and I've spent a lot of money on leads, and I'm telling you, the leads just aren't working, and I'm getting really discouraged. So what did Hans do, or what did your business director do? He or she has discovered that person's pain point. And this is when you felt and found those person. Well, Angela, I can definitely understand how you feel. You know what? At one point I felt the exact same way. I was working for a company that was selling leads. They had me to buy leads, and my leads just weren't leading. I was spending money running up my credit card because I hadn't made a lot of money yet. But you know what? At one point, I felt the exact same way, that I didn't know if this was going to work or not. But I found this company, and they taught me another way to do this business. So, with that said, Angela, we are our infinite company. We're called the People's Company. We've been around for about 8 years now. This was when I first started, so it was 7 years. And we're one of the only companies, and you really should use the word company. I think I used IMOs because in the beginning I was reaching out with some insurance folks, but I realized that even new insurance folks maybe don't know what an IMO, and then I found out we're actually an FMO, so we don't want to confuse people. So it's really best to use, we're one of the only companies that's doing the things we're doing in several markets. We have our niche markets. We have certain niche markets that we work in. We have our natural markets, and yet we also have agency markets. So Angela, what I'd like to do is get you over to one of our Zoom presentations on Monday evening, Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, or on Saturday at noon. I'm sorry, at noon, at 1 Eastern, noon Central, because we have a business overview that's going to be done by one of the business directors or leaders on our platform. And each of these people do an outstanding job. So, Angela, that way you can see for yourself and make a more informed decision as to whether what we do is a good fit for you. Does that sound fair to you? And she'll say, well, absolutely. Well, awesome, awesome. Well, Angela, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I'm going to leave you with Mr. Taylor, and he's going to give you the link, and I'll be there on the call as well. So I'll look forward to seeing you on the Zoom. All right? Hey, Mr. Taylor, always a pleasure. Talk to you soon. It's just a very down to the point, straight to the point. It's a three-way call. You are going to introduce them to your leader, And you're going to edify that leader as Mr. Augustine, Mr. Samad, or Miss Howard, or Miss Mapp, or Miss Marlena Smith. You're going to introduce them in that way because you are showing them our system. So, and then after that, what you're going to do is schedule the time with them, and you're going to set that up with them and get them over to the call. So now that's the LinkedIn and three-way calling system. But I want to give you one final word. With recruiting comes responsibility. If you're going to recruit, you're going to have a responsibility to do it every single day. Excuse me just for a moment. All right. If you are going to recruit, you must take it as one of your responsibilities as your agency builder that you're going to recruit. You're going to be a recruiter, and you're going to use it with in your sales portion and in your in the other things that you're doing. So number one, you need to be consistent. Do it every day. Don't just do it maybe on Monday and then wait again to do it on Friday. That's not working the system. That's not the law of large numbers. That won't get you the law of averages and the law of compounding if you're not consistent. Do it every day. Number two, respond to everyone who connects. Send that first pitch, what I called the invitation. Hey, John. Hey, Angela. Hey, Mary. Hey, Sue. Great connecting with you. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space, and so on and so forth. Send that to every connection. And then number three, reply. Send the reply to everyone who expresses an interest. If they say, I'd like to know more, you send it to them. If they say, well, I'd like to know more, but first I have some questions, you still send the same one. Do not, do not, do not answer their questions, because they're going to get pulled down a path that you don't want to go, especially as a new person, especially even if you've been in the insurance space for a while but you've not recruited. You do not want to try to answer their questions, because they may be very experienced in recruiting, and you'll find that you're going to get people to try to cross recruit you. And if you get into the answering the questions and back and forth, believe me, I know from experience. So don't really change the way you do it. When they say, I'm interested, no matter how many questions they ask, you're still going to say, great. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and share the details. I'm in so and so on Eastern time or Central time. What's a good number to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? That's all you say. And then schedule the three-way call with your leader. Schedule a three-way call, and then you get back with them and say, I'll be available at if you're not available when they say, you can negotiate some times or whatever. And so then you want to schedule them for the three-way call. And then if they agree to the presentation, then you're going to send them the business opportunity link. Now, are you finished with your responsibility? No, ma'am. No, sir. Absolutely not. You want to follow up with them 30 minutes before the scheduled time, whether it's on our entrepreneur meeting on Monday night, or whether it's on our Supreme Team business overview presentation on Saturday afternoon. 30 minutes before, follow up with them and to make sure they're going to be on there with you. So then they've come to the presentation, you've seen them on there, and so you've done your job, haven't you? No, not yet. You want to follow up again. Immediately after that Zoom is over, don't wait for them, as the presentation says, get back with the person who invited you. That's kind of a standard language. But I encourage people to not wait on them, because their leader, when I do the presentation, I say, your leader should know to get back with you immediately. And so if you're going to be a recruiter, don't wait on them. As soon as that meeting ends, and you should be on there with them, as soon as that meeting ends, you're going to follow up again immediately after the Zoom and move them on to the next step. And let me just say this to you. When you follow them, when you follow up with them, you don't want to say, hey, Angela, did you like what you saw? Because that gives them the opportunity to say, no, I don't really like that. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. What you want to say is, hey, Angela, it's Stephen Taylor with our Infinite Company. I just want to get back with you. I saw you on the call. Tell me what you like best about what you saw and heard. Because then they're going to have to zero in on something that they liked. And that way you're gauging their level of interest. So that's not there. That wasn't on the slide, but that's what you want to do, because I made that mistake when I started recruiting on LinkedIn with the other company, and I say, hey, did you like what you saw? And it gave them the opportunity to say, no, I really didn't. And you don't want to do that. So it's just little things that will make your recruiting more. Because you see, when you work the system absolutely will work for you. I want to thank you for attending. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I just want to thank you for attending. If you attended here with me live, if you are watching on our Facebook page, or if you're watching by recording on our YouTube channel, I want to thank you. I appreciate your time. I can tell you, if you work this system, the system will work for you. So next week, another one of our leaders will be leading this. I'll be doing it usually about once a month. I appreciate your time. I thank you, and we'll see you the next time.